Hi, everyone, and good evening. Thank you for joining Misha and Crystal for our Married at First Sight review. I know there's a lot of competition. Let's get it started, Misha. How are you doing?
I am okay. I'm telling you, I was ready to fight Ryan and Johnny after this episode, but I felt like we should start with Rachel and Jose because first of all, we did not see much of them. We saw them have their little meeting, we saw them at the volleyball thing, but that was it. So I feel like they have like the least bit of things to talk about in this episode.
I'll be
What
honest with
did
you.
you think?
I have nothing. I don't care.
Me neither.
I don't care. This is so funny. I'm like, oh, I don't care. And the sad thing is, it's because she's doing the same thing that she's been doing. Um,
Right.
yeah, oh, I love him. And besides that, uh, she asked him. The Pastor Cal said, ask him what is his trigger. Ask him what gets you. What did I say to get you to that point? And he said, I just realized that when I get upset, I need to take a minute before I explode. That's not what she asked you. That is not what she asked you.
Mhm.
She said, what is the trigger? So I know not to do that next time. I think that she is going to be storing all her nuts for a rainy day, all of her whatever she wants to say for a rainy day. And honestly, and I don't even think that she does it on purpose. I think that some people are, and I don't think that she's truly conflict avoidant. I just think now we can talk about Ryan when we talk about that, but I just think that that's just how she deals with it. She just likes she'll just store it up for a rainy day. She's storing all her nuts for a rainy day until he pops off again, and that is the wrong move, Rachel. So I don't care. It's the same thing.
The only thing I did not like was, or I didn't understand, I'll say, is when Rachel gonna bring up, well, he said it was an accident that he locked me out and we came to an agreement, and I'm like, girl, now I kind of feel like Jose, because Jose's like, how many times do you like want me to talk about this, blah blah blah. Okay, Jose is lying. He purposely locked that door. We all know that. But you sat there and you said you forgive him, you're in love with him again. This whole thing made you stronger, and you guys are so much happier now. You're so glad this happened because it made you guys like this have this stronger marriage. But then you sit down in front of the counselor and said, well, I just want to know if it was done on purpose or not. Like, girl, like, make up
But he
your
doesn't know,
mind.
and she doesn't trust him. And to his point, what am I going to do to get my wife to trust me? And thank you, Dr. Pepper, because she was like, uh, you getting angry like this and exploding is not going to create trust. So she doesn't trust him. So that's it. That's the answer. So
Exactly.
I,
And it's like, why put on this front? That's what's so annoying to me. Like, she didn't deserve to be cussed out or locked out, anything like that. But I like, my compassion goes down when you keep on putting this facade like everything's great when you know it's not. So
right.
it kind of seems like that notebook Rachel is still there. The whole noted Rachel is still
Mental
there. And it's like,
mental notes. I take in she was taking all these mental notes. Mental note this, mental note that. And she knew because her sister told her, people have told her in the past, don't do that. Say it when you get angry or when you're feeling it, say it. And she still did it. And I get it that maybe you'll do that when a relationship is new because you're just getting to know this person. She has seen you angry. She's seen you exploding. You need to stop doing that. So I'm just like, yeah, y'all, that's it. I'm done. Okay. She's saying I sound low. Thank you, Cindy. Chindy, sorry. Can y'all hear me? Give me a thumbs up.
I'll just start muting. I don't know if it's because we both have our mic on or not,
Right.
but um, so let's go into Ryan and Brett. I'll let you have at it.
Oh Lord. I was gonna hope that okay, so there's so much to say and there's nothing to say. Um I actually want to go back. And I said this the other night. I have lost all respect for Ryan. I'm annoyed with Brett as well, but I lost all respect for Ryan because to me, you treat this girl like a roommate. You don't care about her. You're not interested in her. You don't like her face. Um, oh, and I got a banner. I got because I love yes because um, you don't like her face. All of these things, right? So why would you go take the camera into her room? You guys have separated. This is not a shared space. You don't want to talk to her about it. You don't want to say, "Hey, I like a clean house," or "Can you clean up?" Because you don't care. You don't care. So don't go into her room, in her space, record it for all the world to see, but not talk to her about it. That's one. Have you even asked her, how are you doing? How is she doing with all of this? You know the mental turmoil that you're going inside your head about all of this. But to me, I have seen it where people just, and a lot of people can say she's just filthy and that's just her, and just some people are just dirty. Or you can look at the fact that this is girl has been in an emotional upheaval, or just an upheaval period, right? Um, she's with a man that doesn't want her, doesn't like her, doesn't find her attractive. It's a lot of negatives, and she thought it was going to be one thing, turns into be another. Yes, she should clean up after herself, but when you're going through all of that, um, all, I bet she may be going through something that's like taking her a lot. And then her dog dies, the only companion she had. Like she's doing a lot of stuff she's going through. Has he even asked her, "Hey, how are you doing with all of this?" No, you record it. Don't talk to her about it. Don't say, "Hey, I'd appreciate it if you cleaned up your room." Because I looked at the shared space. Because I remember me, I had to start all over again. I had to move back in with my mother in California, in Oceanside, as an adult, and I had to basically start all over again, get a new job, move from LA back to Oceanside, and it was a lot to deal with. So I just remember, just I don't want to. This is not where I thought my life was going to be, and I just finally getting a job and not the job I want. And so mentally, I remember my mother saying, Crystal, what is going on with you? So I'm not making excuses for her. I mean, but I guess I am making excuses for her, but I'm just saying I think I can kind of understand. And I just remember also the what was it last week when they went to that obstacle course thing. Everybody else was motivating each other. He didn't say anything when she said, "Hey, I don't know if I can do it." She wants that person in her life, and he's not that. So I just feel like, no, this is not where he wanted his life to be either. But speak to her instead of being petty and recording it and not talking to her about it. Okay. I'm sorry, she's going through something too. um so I just been there, and so that's all I have to say about that. Now she goes to so Dr. Cal, I'm gonna go to Pastor Cal. He said, ask him, what was the picture you wanted for this relationship? Where were you? What was your ideal of marriage? What were you anticipating this to be? And what was the picture of the wife you wanted? Even if it's gonna hurt my feelings, even if I don't want to hear it. Even if it's not me, excuse me, he said, even if it's not me, tell me what it is. Rachel didn't say anything. She didn't ask him the question. I'm like, Rachel, you have the opportunity to ask him the question. You know it's going to hurt your feelings. We're past that now. You know that it's not you. But at least try to break through. Maybe you guys could at least be friends or just be a little bit more cordial to each other. Like, so that was actually kind of just sad and painful to watch. You guys are just sitting there doing this dance. Like, she kind of asked him but not really. And I was like, this is just stupid. um and him just not even trying. So, and what's her name, the Dr. Pepper, she said, like, you're doing all of these checkoffs, like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, but are you actually having a conversation with her about it? And he said, no, I'm not. I'm not having a conversation with her about it. I skipped a part. I want to go back to his pool game with Johnny. This man is just a negative, negative. He is so just everything is bad. I think he likes to sit in his sadness. He likes to sit in his negativity. He just likes being there. He likes to live there. Because even Johnny was like, I can't even have a conversation with Ryan about it. Like, we're both in the kind of the similar situation, and I'm not finding any solace in this. Like, this is just, he's not gonna help. He's no help. He's no help. He likes to sit in his sadness. And I'm just like, you're just ugh. So um that's all I can remember right now. Yeah. Because um all he was just putting her down. He was like, well, no, if it's negative or if it's bad, you don't want to have to put up with it. You don't have to put up with it. Well, then don't put up with it. Say something. Speak to the girl. So that's all I got for now. If I remember something, I will. I'm sorry. I know I talked a lot.
You're fine. I agree with you. I agree with the points you made about Brett. And I relate to your story about having to move back home and not being happy, because I had to do the same thing when I had my daughter and I was a single mother. So I get that aspect, and I kind of felt that way this whole time. She has, I don't want to say all these odds against her, but she kind of does, because it's not working out with her husband. Her dog passes away. Like, this was actually, like you said, her companion, who she's probably had all these moments and times. And I'm not even I'm not even gonna go there. I was just gonna say, like, how is it possible that this happens now that she's with him? And I don't know. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go dog blaming. But I related to that because I went through my own funk. I literally had to go to therapy, and people were pointing out things, and like, I didn't want to go out anywhere. I didn't want to be with anyone. I didn't want to dress up. I didn't want to do my hair or makeup. I was messy like Brett. And my parents would be like, you need to clean this up. And I would get mad. And it's like, I get it when your life's not where you want it to be, or unfortunate things happen. It brings out a different side in you. So I definitely agree with that. And I felt that way this whole time. And yes, Brett is messy, but I feel like she said at the beginning she was messy, but I think this whole situation like made it worse. But I don't know. I don't know if that was Ryan in her room at the beginning of the episode recording. I really hope that wasn't Ryan, because that brings on a whole different level of dislike that I already have for him. But when Pastor Cal told her, let me go in on Pastor Cal for a second, because I hate this narrative, this struggle love narrative he pushes on women, that they need to carry the load and they need to go the extra mile. Like, why does Brett need to go to him and ask him questions when you can see she's put in so much effort? Like, and like the sister says, if you ask him questions, if you put him on the spot, he's going to lie to you. So why should she go and ask him questions to be honest, are irrelevant? Why does she need to know when he checked out? That does not change the fact that he checked out. Like, why why is he not attracted to her? She's not going to change her hair. She's not going to do, and because she's just not that woman that's his type. So I just felt like, even with the whole Michaela thing with Bao, like, why are you're so strong, your strength, and keep being strong. No, she shouldn't have to keep being strong. And even with Michaela, when she had a very valid point, and it just went over Pastor Cow's head. Like, I cannot make this man happy. If he's depressed, there's not a lot I can do with that. And well, you should be happy. You have to bring happiness. You have to meet somebody with happiness in order to, I'm like, I was just like, and it seems like it's only the women who he pushes like this. Why would you tell Bao to keep going, to just keep it light and just stay? I'm like, what? But anyway, back to Ryan and Brett. What's her name? Brett meets with Ryan's sister.
That's what I forgot.
They
Go ahead.
and Ryan's sister basically tells her, y'all were doing good, and then he checked out. I think he checked out because there's someone here that has his attention. And like I told you, I think it's, I don't know, it just seems like she had an angle. Like I was telling Crystal before we got on here, it feels like the people around him baby him because he has issues with communication. Like if we remember at I don't know if it was the reception or the morning after, when they're all telling Brett, you need to pry, you need to pull things out of him. So I felt like the sister saying that, she was like, okay, Ryan doesn't have the guts to break up with you. So I'm going to help him do it because he's not going to basically let you know what's going on. So I'm going to step in and basically make it make it known in your head that he don't want you, so that you can stop wasting your time and he can stop wasting his time. But Ryan needs to grow up. You 35 something years old, and I can't wait for the reunion because I want to see what Brett has to say when she's seeing all these clips and he's talking to Zach, Johnny. He's talking to everyone but her. So I can't wait, especially when he's showing up her dirty room and bathroom. I want to know what Brett has to say.
And we haven't been watching Unfiltered. I keep wondering. I'm like, is she watching this? Because that was his voice. That was his voice going and walking through the bedroom and then the bathroom and all the sides of the bed and everything. But you're right. My thing is, he's talking to everybody else. He's talking to Zach about it. He's talking to Johnny about it. Everybody else, but you're not talking to your wife about it. But I do want to go, and I forgot about the sister. The sister the sister saying that was really interesting because remember last week, she did an ITM and she said, I had hoped that he would have grown up by now. I had hoped that he had would have embraced the marriage by now, and he hadn't. And I said, I wonder if she's doing this because she said after the honeymoon, we all FaceTimed and you guys seemed really happy and he seemed really happy and all of these things. And I think that he checked out way before Dr. V. He said he checked out when Dr. V showed up and he was trying to be honest with Brett and she started crying. I said, no, I think it was way before that. So I think that the sister, like, doing that, kind of throwing him under the bus, saying that there might be somebody else. First of all, that's just weird. I'm like, that's your sister. Like, that's not just an acquaintance that's seeing you at a coffee shop, or is your sister trying to rescue Brett? Like, that's very telling. That's just strange to me that she would do that. And that also says, and he says something, and I don't even know if Brett took it to heart. Like when Pastor Cal said it to Bao, she's like, I didn't even think of that. Is there? But did Brett really like take that in and want to do something with it? So yeah, it was just very, I was like, huh, why would she say that? Because she's the one that said that he dates a lot of potatoes. He dates the nothing on the inside, but like smooth on the outside. So he realizes that she's not a potato, and maybe she's trying to rescue her. I don't know, but that was very telling that the sister would try to throw her into this idea that there's somebody else. So I think that's really interesting. Yeah. That's all I can think of right now.
Yeah, so after them, I guess we'll just go into Gil and Merla.
Can we stop calling
Merla.
him Dusty? Can we stop calling him Dusty?
um uh
No.
um, I mean, for this review, I won't call him a Dusty, but I, but he, the only slight issue, I won't call it a full issue. I just didn't understand. Maybe production pushed them to have that conversation, but my whole thing is Merla was clearly tossed. She was dripping in that sauce. So why are you trying to sit her down and have this serious conversation? And why is your resolution to her mood swings for her is to just not have them? Like, it's weird. Like, I just didn't understand that whole point of why are you still trying to sit here and talk to her? Just let that girl enjoy her little, I don't know what you want to call it, but let her enjoy her little buzz. But I get it. Production was probably pushing them to have that talk right then and there. But when she flipped that purse and her hair flipped all over, that would have been that's all I needed to see. And I'm like, you know what, let's talk about this another day. Let's do this another time. But he was still going. But it was fun to see another side of her, because we get naggy, high maintenance Merla a lot, but to see a fun, light spirited side of her was it was cool. But and when she was crying when she was crying in front of Dr. Pepper, I was like, I have been there, because I don't know what it is about dark liquor, but I don't even have to be drunk. If I have one or two something with dark liquor, I will be sitting there crying just like Mila. So that part wasn't surprising to me, but I just felt like it is what it is with Marla. I'm glad they are on a good note, but it kind of makes me wonder if they're on the same page, because she seems like she's in bliss now, because she's had Gil kind of do all this work to get her trust and all that stuff. But now it's kind of like Gil's not satisfied, because there's still some things that aren't working for him. So yeah, it was interesting to see.
I agree with you. And I said this when it was happening. I said, when have you ever had a deep conversation with somebody that's drunk? Like, don't even have this conversation right now. I was like, this is silly. And it was almost kind of it disrespectful for her to be that, because I know last time in front of Dr. Reese she said that she was nervous. So first of all, I'm wondering where are they getting 25-cent margaritas? Like, I need to find that out. But secondly,
That's first. That sounds like a terrible hangover. It
I
actually sounds like a terrible idea, but
because you need to know your limits. If you are like, what is that, like $2 and you're tossed, because that's really cheap. That's not even, that's cheap tequila anyway. Besides that, besides that, yeah, the fact that she had the conversation with Gil while she was tossed was just silly. I just thought it has to be a push, like, from production. Secondly, Gil, I think that, they were a lot of people were talking about the fact that he was pushing to get this kiss, and now he's still unhappy. He's not a broke trash bag, y'all. So anyway, um, I'm writing that. So he's pushing to get this kiss, but now he's still unhappy. And the thing is, uh, he wanted to make sure that she was happy with him, with the man that she married, and now she's still in this moody type of person. And if you're in a bad mood, your bad mood can affect somebody else's mood. And I think that he just didn't explain it correctly, but he did attempt to. One, I was like, whatever conversation you're having with her right now, you need to have it again in the morning, because she ain't gonna remember it. That's one. Two, um, I think she first started to understand that that when I get, I think it's part of me being an introvert. So I like to complain, and I like to get into my into my head, and I complain. And he's like, your complaints affect my mood. Like, I don't want you to affect my mood. She has had it where people adjust to her. She has had it where she gets what she wants. When she complains enough, or she, is moody like that, or she like does stuff to people, or when you're in a public setting, they just give her what she wants. And I appreciate the fact that he's like, I'm not going to put up with this. Like, your bad mood is affecting my mood. I still want to be like upbeat and stuff. So that's a good thing. Um and I think that he's getting her to understand, because I think that she's really in it. She really is happy with them. Like, she's really happy with them. So I think that a lot of people were asking, why does he want her to give him a hug afterwards? Uh because he because he needs to understand that her bad mood is um is not is not going to affect everybody all day. That's it. Y'all messing with me.
yeah, yeah. It is what it is with them. They had a real fast switch, a real fast turnaround. So it is what it is with them. Let's do Michaela and Zach. I I don't know where you want to begin with this, but you can have at
Oh Lord, you really gonna turn the mic over to me?
it.
Lord. Okay. We might have to go back and forth on this one, because I might need to take a couple breaks. And y'all, I think next week everybody bring your wine. Just or bring whatever libation to next week's um show. So I'm gonna start with Zach meeting with. Did he meet with Pastor Cal? I think he met with Pastor Cal, and he started crying again. And or no, it was Pepper. I don't remember. He met with one of them, and the counselor made him realize that he's such a perfectionist, and he's putting that perfectionism onto his mate or whoever he deals with. So then he went once he realized that, then they met. Michaela met with him, and she said he said I had another crying session. She's like, oh really, why? When you have somebody that is not a emotional, like super a crier, dealing with somebody that is a crier, this is just, I'm like I said, I'm just glad that they're both not criers, because we wouldn't be able to understand a word they say, because it's just going to be all tears all the time, and it's just going to be just an emotional upheaval. That's one. um Michaela realized, she said, I really want to make him happy. And I do think that she's trying to be this saver. She's trying to be this whatever, this captain. I don't even want to say, it's not the Captain Save-A-Ho because she's a woman, but you know what I'm trying to say. I just want to make Zach happy. I just want to make Zach happy. That's not going to make you happy. It's not going to be, the relationship's not going to survive. You just sitting there trying to make him happy, and he's not going to be happy. Um, Now let's get into the tit for tat. I just, oh gosh, these two are just an emotional wreck. They don't belong together, and you leave the counseling session, and then you literally do exactly what you said you were not going to do. That's just, um first of all, I just want to make a PSA, a public service announcement to all future episodes, all future married couples. Stop forecasting. Stop saying, so you sit down and you say, if tomorrow was decision day, what would you do? You still are mad that you don't know that you like this girl yet. You are still trying to get to trust this person. You don't know this person. So if you say no and the other person says, I don't know, basically they were literally saying the same thing. They were literally, I feel like they both said no. They both said, right now, I would say no. So, Michaela, you're mad that he said the same thing you said? You're mad that he said no? But truthfully, if tomorrow was decision day, you would say no too. So you want to go and sleep in the other room. Now, I don't blame you on this point, that if somebody didn't want to be with me, I wouldn't want to be having them sleep next to me and play footsies with them all night, or something else with them all night. So I get that point, but at the same time, Zach, I think that he is so heightened by all the other little crap that you did to him, that he's like, okay, so if you want to sleep in separate rooms, then I'm just going to go into my own bed and to my own house, and then it's an argument. Nobody's communicating. Everybody's yelling and screaming. Everybody's talking crazy, and okay, so you're more comfortable at the house. Well, if you're not going to be here, you don't want us to sleep. But you guys just said no. So you guys don't want to work on it. If you don't want to work on it, then sleep in the other bed. Then, okay, well, then I'll just go home. I'm like, y'all just stop. Just stop and listen to yourselves. Um, so he leaves. He gets a text message. I guess they were all supposed to be. This is what I didn't quite understand. And Misha, maybe you can help me. Were they both supposed to have a Zoom call with his brothers, and I guess she didn't make it to the Zoom call, or did she say that she wasn't going to make it?
I don't know if it was a Zoom call or if they had planned an outing. I was a little confused by that. It seemed like he FaceTimed them to let them know whatever they planned wasn't happening.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. To me, it seemed
Okay.
like they had something. I don't know.
They had something planned, and she decided not to make it. So she sends him a text message saying, "Well, since you left the house and slept in your own bed, which I didn't want you to do, but then you wanted him to sleep in the other room. So I didn't want you to do that." But then she does this thing where, fine, if you're going to leave, then leave. So he does what you tell him to do. But then, just like her brother said, she's saying that, but that's not what she really meant. She's angry, and then she gets vindictive when she gets angry. So she's acting on emotions, and then she moves everything out. Now, I'm sorry, but this part is funny because the funny thing is, the seasoning was sitting on the counter when they were having the argument the night before. I saw that Tony Sriracha sitting there, and then he says, not only did she move everything out, but then she takes all my seasoning. And I said, did you really think that, like, you're dealing with an irrational, emotional person? Like, really, that's funny to me. That the taking of the seasoning was just hilarious. I said, she got to cook too. So she moves everything out and takes the seasoning. And all he did was vent to his brothers. Like, he didn't really try to get um, an answer. He really didn't try to get like help. And I get it. You want to vent to your brothers. I totally get that. I also get that, your one brother's married, your other brother's in a long-term relationship, about to get married. So these might be two people that you do want to listen to. But it was just emotional mess. Like, they really do this vindictive tit for tat thing, and I don't think it is Zach's age. I'm sorry, I don't think it is Zach's age. I just think that when he's not ready, she's not ready for marriage, and yes, she's just volatile. She's volatile, and he doesn't know how to deal with somebody like her. And he's also an idealist. He wanted a certain picture, like Ryan, of what his wife was going to be. Absolutely, and he didn't get that. So now he's just all emotional. So I'm sure I have more. Go ahead, Mish.
I don't even know where to start. I'll start. Okay, so you said you don't think it has anything to do with his age. I felt like the whole wanting to leave because she doesn't want to sleep in the same bed as him was showing his age. Because I kind of agreed with Michaela. If you would not stay with me, if today was decision day and you would not stay with me, why do we need to sleep in the same bed and risk me giving my body to you again for no reason?
I agree.
So I feel like in that moment he showed his age, because all these things started going through my mind, like, okay, so what if your wife had cancer or something? Like, there's so many different situations where you might have to sleep in a different bedroom, or there will be a chance of you not getting none. So that made me think, okay, so is that all it is to you? Maybe that's not all marriage is to him, but it seems like that's all Michaela is to him, is someone who he can do the do with and fight every now and then. So yeah, and then where was I going after that? So they did that. Let's get into the session, child. This counseling. So this was supposed to be a marriage counseling session, right? And Zach turned it into his own personal session. I said, you got to call her for after hours for that kind of session. Because he just wanted to go into town, and I'm a perfectionist and I want everything perfect. And I'm like, people think, here's the thing, people think being a perfectionist is like some like holier than thou thing. They think they're above people because they think that um I only like things perfect and blah blah blah. But when you're a perfectionist, you don't get anything done because you want everything perfect, and nothing will ever really be perfect. So if you're a perfectionist and you don't, like, let's say you're a perfectionist and you're trying to launch a business, you will never launch that business because you're waiting for it to be perfect. And like this marriage, he wants his marriage to be perfect instead of working towards it. I agree 1000% with Michaela, I want a marriage that has goals, that we're working towards something. So my whole thing, Zach, how do you have this fairy tale in your head that you're supposed to wake up one day with kids, a house, and a Christmas tree with gifts under it with no goals? How, Zach? So you have this fairy tale in your head, but how do you get to the house? How do you get to having the kids? Like, at what point do you snap out of this I say idolatry, idealism of marriage, and when do you start being realistic and saying, okay, I gotta put work in, I got to do this, I got to do that so we can become this. So that's what was irritating to me. I am tired of seeing him crying. I am tired of seeing him trying to play, the victim with his friends. And I'm like, you just sat with this woman and said, so what do I do so you can feel secure, so you know that I won't leave? And then she says something you don't like, and you say, I'm going home because it doesn't make sense to be here if I'm not sleeping in the same bed with you. You literally, like, you contradicted yourself, because if you're trying to build this security with her, why would your first thought be to leave? And it's not like they were in a fight where she said, I don't want to be around you. She's saying, if you don't know if we have a future, then we don't need to be sleeping in the same bed. So I
And like I said, I agree with her. Excuse me. I agree with her on that. Like, I'm not going to be playing footsies or anything else these with you. If you don't think that we're going to be long lasting. And I think in his head, he's not there yet, but he wants to work it out. I don't think that that is a rational thought, but that's what he keeps saying. Like, I still want to try. Like at the dance, the salsa thing, that's what he said, that he was saying, like, I still want to try, even though that's not, um I don't see a future yet, but I still want to try. I still want to do the things. He still wants to work the motions, still sleep in
Mhm.
the same bed, still have the conversation, still communicate, still, so see if he can get there. Right now, one, I don't think they should have been forecasting in the first place. You can't be saying something that's going to happen in a month from now when you guys have had constant bickering, constant this back and forth, vindictive tit for tat type of thing. So you're going to be, and then you want to be honest, and then you say stuff like, oh well, I'm just saying it because I'm honest. No, come on, come on, Zach, come on. You knew. And no, I can't even say that. Did he know that this is going to be a reaction? And he thinks, and I think he does this, he's like, well, since this is her reaction is to kick me out of the room. In his head, he's like, she's kicking me out of the bedroom. No, she's not kicking you out of the bedroom necessarily. You just said you didn't want to be with her for long lasting. But at the same time, why were y'all even playing this game in the first place? Stop asking the question when you don't want to hear the answer. One. So now you heard the answer. And since she wants to say, okay, well, tonight, why don't we just sleep in the other room? And they don't communicate the correct way. So if she wants to say, you just sleep in the other room tonight. Let's talk about it in the morning. Let's see where we can do better. She didn't say, let's work on the friendship. Let's do it a different. She didn't do anything like that. She said, well, I don't want to sleep with you tonight. Go in the other room. She just stopped there. So go ahead, because apparently.
No, I agree. You have a good point. Like, they shouldn't have, because they already talked about this. They already talked about where they stood after their sessions. So what was the point of sitting there and asking each other, where do you stand? Or what would your decision or choice be, or whatever? What was the point of that when you already had this moment and I wanted to go back to Zach crying because didn't nobody hand him no tissue. I was waiting because he was just crying and crying and crying. I said, "Oh, somebody go hand him a tissue." He done wetted up his sleeve. He all, he like, I'm like, somebody bring him a tissue. I was like, I
I'm
know they.
crying because I'm a perfectionist, and I realize now that my perfectionism it goes on to other people, and then I put my perfectionism onto somebody else, and
Dr. Pepper sat there and said, she did not blink. She did not. She was like, "Okay, are you done? Because I got 3 more questions I got to get through before I can go home. So, are you done?"
well, and then first of all, I do think that Zach has they just need to throw this out and start all over again and go to counseling. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope I didn't offend anyone that is emotional by doing that, but I do think that Zach, you're not ready for marriage, and you need to just go to counseling. And I think that your crying has nothing to do with Michaela. I definitely think that your crying has nothing to do with Michaela or marriage, and you really need to find out, pull back those layers and find out why you are uh, so emotional so quickly. So, and that's it. You just we need to investigate some counseling. That's what I'm a big advocate for that. So that's all I have to say for now.
Shandy, that's what it seems like. It seems like that's the only thing they're good at is getting to the makeup sex. So I think that's the only thing they have. I don't really think they have anything else. But like Michaela said, I can't fight this feeling that's telling me deep down that you don't see a future with me. And so if she can already see it, you just got to go with your intuition sometimes.
You know what's so interesting? Um, you know the saying, when a woman's fed up, ain't nothing you can do about it. Uh,
Mhm.
and that's another thing I meant to bring up with Brett. I think that Brett already sees that Ryan is 95% out the door, pretty much
I
98%
agree.
out the door. Even Bao already said it. She's like, um, Johnny's 80% out the door anyway. Why am I keep fighting for this? So now that Michaela knows that she messed up those 2 or 3 times in the beginning, so now she's getting to the point where mentally she needs to move on because
Mhm.
he doesn't trust her, and so now her wall back up. Her wall is now 6 feet high, and she's mentally trying to move on. So
I
I think that's
agree. That's why I'm not mad at Brett for asking those questions because I could see it on her face. Like she is done with Ryan and she's done so much crying that now she's like, Ryan just needs to man up and say whatever it is. So when she sat there and she didn't ask the questions, I didn't take it as if she was afraid or scared or anything like that. I took it as she's done. She really don't care. She didn't ask because she don't care what his answers are
I
because
agree. I
it's
don't
not
think that
going to progress anything.
Yeah, I
So
totally agree. I don't think that she cares whether, because her answer even to the sister, what did she say? If his answer is that I'm not attracted to you, her answer is like, I'm not attracted to you either. I think that she's trying to salvage it, and that's what she said to Pastor Cal. That Pastor Cal's like, is there any of this salvageable? She said, if he tries, he has not even tried. I know we're back to Brett and Ryan, but he has basically checked out, won't even try, and he's been petty and yeah. Honestly, and I have to say this, him doing that video camera thing in her room, which is not even her, it's not even their shared room, it's her room because they're now living like roommates. That was some Gil type um talk behind your back type crap. I was like, you're just horrible now. I just have no respect for you now. Like I had the little monicum I did because to me, you're gonna go down there just like and talk about the girl behind your back. You're gonna go wait till she leaves and video camera and show the world, but you won't even have a conversation with her. So that was some gossip girl petty stuff.
I agree. Let's get into Johnny and Bow. Bow, bow, bow. What
Oh
do
Lord.
um, I'll let you go first
Oh,
if you want to.
ooh, wish this coffee was spiked. Um, okay, so let's start. Um, where do I start? Where do I start? Should I start with okay? I just said it earlier that Bao knows that Johnny is 80% out of this. He's already checked out, and at this point, she's been trying and trying and trying, but she is Bao's got backbone. Bao's like, I won't let you talk to me like this. It is disrespectful. You're mean. And he has been downright mean and rude and uncaring, unfeeling, and for no reason really. If you really think about it. So he said this whole week has been great because got up in the middle of the night and we went bowling. And so she's doing all of this extra stuff. She is like she said, she got on her high horse and she said, I am an administrator. Da, 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 da. So she's getting up in the middle of the night. She's doing all of these fun things with him, and I get it. I'm all about spontaneity, but when has he asked her what would you like to do? Has he once asked her, what are you interested in? So this whole week, he's thinking this whole week's been great, right? So they're in bed, and he says, I don't want to talk to Ryan anymore because he's not really a help. They're going through kind of the same things we're going through. So, so he says, I would like to get back to, and I wrote it down, friendship. I thought he said consciousness, but he said, and other things. He said, friendship, communication, and trust, right? And in theory, yes, that is absolutely true. You do need all of those things in a relationship, but that's something that you would have if you were dating for 1 or 2 years. You're not. And so he said, I would like to do this. I would like to do this, do that. And Bao said, well, yes, that's fine, but there's somebody else in this marriage. There's I what about what I would like as well? And Bao like started to have her own voice and say, um, there are two people in this relationship. And so he gets up and he's like, we don't have to do this. And he literally got defensive. We don't have to do this. And he just goes in the kitchen, starts to huff and puff, and says, "Bow, bow, bow." And he just gets upset, and he just got starts mad and huffing and puffing, and I'm like, "What is wrong with you?" And she's like, "Why are you walking away? We're having a conversation." I have to got to hand it to Bao. She is very measured and she is calm. And she's like, "If you want to have a conversation, come back to bed and have a conversation." I love that because she's just like, and then I think that makes him madder that she is not in as much of an uproar as he is. That and he's like, everything that we did all week now that's out the window because you didn't hear what I said and you want to do. I said, let's get back to being friends and let's take the sex off the table. I hear what he's saying about taking the sex off the table, but I also think that he's not um, listening to her and he's not listening to what she wants. Okay. So they shouldn't have had sex in the first place because they were not communicating. So now that they are, she's like, when are we going to get to know each other? When are we going to learn each other? So you want to be light friends and everything, and you want all this small talk. So he's so upset because she said, there's two people in this marriage. And so he has a fit. He gets angry. And I said, you were selfish. You really, literally, she didn't say anything against you. So let me go to the the Pastor Cal. Val met with Pastor Cal. Johnny met with he met with Dr. Pepper. Um, what's funny is Pastor Cal did have handkerchiefs or tissue for Bao, which was funny. So Bao's crying and she's upset and she's like, he's been mean to me. And Pastor Cal said he's not supposed to, he should not be being mean to you. He's treating you disrespectfully. And he said, ask him what was basically the same thing that Brett was trying to add, was supposed to ask Ryan. What was his vision for this marriage? And so I don't remember the whole interaction with Dr. Pepper with Johnny. So they meet after their interactions with the separate counselors. Bao asked him, "What was your vision for this marriage? What was your ideal of what the marriage should look like?" He says, "I wasn't attracted to you 15 years ago, and if I was attracted to you 15 years ago, we would have had a second date. You're mean and you're an a-hole, and that's not what she asked you. You purposely were rude and hurtful. That's not what she asked you. She said, what was your vision for this marriage?" He says, when we dated 15 years ago, I wasn't attracted to you then. I was like, wow. Wow. So, and this is after she said, you're not going to talk to me like this. You're not going to disrespect me. He said, there are some things that I said to you that were very hurtful, and I'm sorry for that. So he apologizes and then throws it all out the window and says something mean and hurtful again. Um, yeah. I I might remember some other stuff from that. I want to go to this volleyball thing. Bao showing up in this cheerleading outfit was funny, but I don't understand the was that did she do that on purpose? I get that she didn't want to play volleyball, but then he comes up and he grabs her and kisses her and gives her a hug. Did he kiss her too or just hug her? I thought he just hugged her, but she's like, Johnny just giving me this great affectionate hug was just really surprising to me. And I said it was surprising to me too, but he wants this fun, flirty girl. Like I think he's stuck. He's stuck. Like he wants to relive his college years. He wants to relive his college years, and he wants this girl that's just gonna sleep with him and not say anything. He doesn't want an intelligent you know relationship. He doesn't want an intelligent wife. He just wants somebody that's just gonna do for him. That her in this cheerleading outfit, I was like, oh, that's really telling. That was really telling. That's all I can remember for now. Let me see. I know them I took notes on. So go ahead, Misha. Go ahead.
I agree. The outfit was, I don't know, it kind of, I don't know. I'm glad it cheered everyone up because Brett seemed like she really needed that cheerleading outfit. She was like, "You made me laugh." I was like, "Damn, Brett, when's the last time you laughed or smiled?" Like, and I think that's a testament to like what she's going through because like Brett needed that cheerleading
You
outfit.
just said a word, Misha. Just like Gil says that somebody in a bad mood affects other people's mood. Ryan in his bad mood is affecting Brett's mood. Go ahead. I'm sorry to
Mhm.
interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. But yeah, I agree with Sharon. Johnny wanted a clingy. Oops, did I do that? Oh,
That's the
Johnny
thing
wanted.
about both of us running the board, y'all.
Oh.
Sorry.
Johnny wanted a clingy woman who wanted him more than he wanted her. I agree with that. I dated a guy like that, and his behaviors were just like Johnny. He even tried to break up with me and tell me that he was not sexually attracted to me because he wanted to break me down and to get me to feeling like less, to get me to feeling like I need him. And I think that's what Johnny's trying to do. He wants Bao to feel like she needs him because she's an independent woman. She has her own. She doesn't need him for anything. Because like they keep going with these throwback clips. How are you at the pool talking about Bao looks so good in that bathing suit and blah blah blah? Now you're gonna sit in front of her and say you weren't attracted to her. So he's definitely playing mind games with Brett. Brett hit the nail on the head when she said, he has malicious intent. And I think we all can see it. Like the things he does, he says there's like he's terrible. He is terrible. I heard someone say somewhere like they hate Johnny more than Chris. And it's like I don't know. I'm
Yo, that's
just
what I wanted to end with. I really wanted to talk about that. Go ahead though, Misha. I'm sorry.
but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying not to dig into the Chris and Paige bag and get mad all over again. But yeah, Johnny is not my dude right now. Even we told Dr. Pepper we don't argue well. Why? What are you talking about? Like, it's not about arguing. Communicating is not about arguing. Like, you can have your perspective, she can have hers. And I agree with her. She's like, the things you blow up over are not big. They're not big deals. So I don't really understand. She had me cracking when he ran around that bed and ran in that bathroom. She's like, what are you doing? Why are you acting this way? Can you please talk to me? Talk, Johnny. Communicate what you're feeling right now. I don't understand why you're acting this way. I swear. But I kind of understand Johnny a little bit because that would, if you're already mad and then somebody comes to you, well, Crystal, please don't act that way. Sit down. It would probably make you more mad. It's hilarious to watch because it makes him look even more childish. I do agree, he is childish. Like the things he gets mad over, his temper, it's like, what? This man cannot be over 35 acting this way. It doesn't make any type of sense to me. I commend what is that girl's name? Jamie on Unfiltered when she basically called out Johnny and said, well, you said you liked the cheerleader outfit, but you said before she was too giddy. But so it seems like you're not happy with anything. She was just pointing out examples of you said she was too negative. So why it seems like you're always gonna have a problem, and I agree. Like Johnny, when do you? He's disgusting at this point. He's disgusting because I feel. Did my audio? That's weird.
It's muffled.
That's
That's. I put it in a private chat to check your sound. It's low. You sound like this.
Okay, hold on.
But so I agree. He is acting like a child, and I don't think Johnny knows what he wants. I don't think that Johnny has had successful relationships because he just keeps going to the next, to the next, to the next. And so he's never really realized what he really wants in a relationship. Or he's just so selfish that he wants a woman As he said earlier, to cater to him, he didn't say cater. He said he wanted a woman to be clingy. So he wants a clingy woman. And Bao is not a clingy girl. Bao's not a clingy woman. And he wants somebody that's clingy, but she is going the extra mile to do all of these things to show him that he is loved. But what is he doing to show her that he is loved? What is so funny that you had brought up his conversation with Dr. Pepper? I forgot about this point. Uh, when he and Bao were meeting, as she said, if you want to do this, then I need a guarantee from you that you won't leave, that you will stay. And then he's like, I have not left this marriage yet. And I'm like, boy, you've left twice. Until to him, he's like, I have not checked out. But you, and he's like, when I leave, I said, so you just admitted that you leave and go, but you don't care how that's affecting her. You don't care that when you leave and you go and you sleep at your own house, how does that affect my wife? In a marriage, you just don't up and leave. You stay. And so just like Bao has been stayed in the bed, why are you upset? Come back to bed and communicate. So, and or when they had the dinner and he wanted and he would pout or go in the bedroom and cuss and scream. And but excuse me, all of those apartments have another bedroom. You need to pull a Michaela and go in the other room for a second and come back and stick it out. But him saying, I've never left. Yes, you have. So you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead, Misha. Then I want to ask about the Chris and Johnny thing.
No, I agree. That's why I like. You still can't hear? No.
You're still muffled a little bit. Say something again.
Hello.
Okay, that's a little better. That's better. That's better.
But this is why I liked Brett and Vince, because not Brett. What is that girl's name?
Brianna.
Bree.
Yeah, but she spoke up.
She cut it right then and there. The first time he left, she said, "You better not do that again. You go in the other room. You don't leave because you're mad." So I wish some of these women, because now you got Ryan, Johnny, Zach, they all taking these vacations. I'm like, what is going on? Go ahead.
So I do want to bring this up, and a lot of people online have been saying, "Who's worse, Chris from last season or Johnny?" And to me, Chris was horrible, and yeah, Chris. I have serious disdain for Chris, and him being a black man is even worse. But I can see why we have the comparison, and I honestly, to me, I almost feel like Johnny is worse, and I'll tell you why. In the beginning, we liked Johnny. In the beginning, he was the cool guy, and we thought the bow was the issue. But Chris, we knew from the wedding reception, this man is off. We knew that this there was an issue, and then the next day after the wedding, after the marriage, um, now, and I don't like putting to put myself in her shoes. I probably would not have gone to the honeymoon because there were too many red flags. Everything at the reception, and then the day after, then they actually had an argument before they even got on the plane, all of those things. So we knew from jump something was up with Chris. Johnny, throughout the whole 2 weeks, I'm gonna say 2, 3 weeks, we liked Johnny. Johnny was the cool guy. Bao was the one that didn't shower. Bao was the one that had all of these issues. So it's almost like he has this facade and he has these ideals that he won't share with anybody. He is somebody that, and he keeps saying that she's a liar and she's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. But what about you? So it's almost like we know what Grizz is. Johnny, he has these, it's all masked. You think, oh, well, he's the cool guy and she's the one with the issues and she's the one that's anal and she's got all of these list of deal breakers and all of these things. But this man is he's the one that I think he's worse. I definitely think he's worse. And I think he's being mean on purpose. Now that he and Chris had in common. Like he's purposefully being cutting. He's purposefully just trying to break her down. I think that he and Chris both had that in common. And yeah, so with Bao, we thought like it was going to be, honestly, in the beginning we said, oh, it's going to be her, like it she's the issue. And the whole time we knew, we were like red flags, we were like page run, page run, page run. And now we see that Johnny has this facade, and I'm sure that this isn't the first relationship he's been mean and purposefully hurtful. But so that's what I think. What do you think, Misha?
It's hard for me to say who's worse because I feel like they have so many similarities. Like they are both kind of using the same tactics to kind of self-sabotage, to break the woman down, to like give them this unbearable load of to carry in the relationship. So it's it's real hard. I feel like they're neck and neck because they're both doing the unattractive thing, attacking the woman's beauty, which is it means a lot to a woman that that their partner finds them attractive. So you're doing that and then you're nitpicking. You don't do this, you don't do that. I like this way, I like that way. So it's yeah, it's pretty I think they're pretty disgusting. I I kind of just feel like Brow is the next page. Like she's gonna need some real intense therapy after the show is over. So if Bao and Zach are together, then right now I'm gonna say before I wasn't feeling it because there's these rumors that Bao and Zach are together. First I wasn't feeling it, but now that I'm thinking about all the stuff Bao's going through, she deserves happiness. She deserves a healthy relationship. So, but then again, Zach ain't really that healthy child. But if they are together, it's like, and she's actually happy with Zach, can you really be mad at that? I don't know.
I don't
But
blame her one bit. I don't blame her one bit. Yeah. Hey, if she's happy and they're communicating better, they're communicating. I mean, at this point, they can't go anywhere but up. If Bao and what's his name, Zach, are are together, listen, it has nothing to do with, they want to be happy. So hey, if it's true, then great. I actually kind of see her more with the guilt, but hey, I don't blame her one bit. Have a good time and find out what makes you happy.
yeah, it's unfortunate that the circumstance because I don't think either one of them are divorced yet. So that aspect, I'm like, it's kind of not like the best way to start a relationship. But if they are happy, then hey, and Michaela already responded. And from what I heard, Michaela got her own boo. So
But okay, so the Michaela stuff is she is so petty that like all she tells these stories on IG and all of the I was like, what are you doing? Just stop. I
I'm
was like,
confused. One, because I thought they were allowed to have social media because
uh,
the other cast members weren't. It wasn't until I think decision day or something, then everybody started unlocking their accounts. So I'm like, how are they all on social media right now?
I think Michaela's being Michaela though. I think that you're right. That is a caveat to it that they're not divorced yet. So I hear you on that. I'd never, we've talked about that on CMK, like wait till the papers are signed. But at the same time, if they're happy and they're enjoying each other's company, then let them enjoy each other's company. Um, yeah, and hopefully it's just and it may not be anything. It may be we're just seeing them, unless we actually seen them kiss and canoodling and doing all this other stuff, then whatever. But Michaela is probably just being Michaela from what I'm just saying. She's like, I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do. Like,
yeah, she is petty boots, but I think from what I heard, she's got a man too. So I think that's why she's playing the nonchalant card. And I think that's why she felt the need to say we haven't, like, her and Zach have not been in communication. They are not in a marriage. They have not been together because she got her own situation going on. So she ain't trying to mess up nothing she got going on over there. So I think, yeah, I think she's playing both sides of it.
I agree. I think that's exactly what she's doing. I think that's exactly what she's doing. Is that everybody?
Yep, that is everyone.
Y'all, this was fun. This was fun. I do think that we need to do like a wind down for next one, or like a Michaela stress reliever. For I don't know. We'll think of a fun name for it between Misha and I. Because this next one it's gonna be a doozy next
This
week.
is what we've been waiting for, though. We've been seeing Michaela blowing up, and we're like, okay, let's see it. And it's like,
Chindi, you have a point, because remember she had slept with a guy. Was it a month before, or did they even say 2 weeks? I thought it was something like that before she got matched.
mm-hmm.
You have a point. And she said that they were just friends. She said, "Oh, he was a longtime friend."
Mm-hmm. I agree with Uno Girl. When I was watching Unfiltered, I was like, this was definitely planned, because they didn't even have a different castmate. They had Dr. Viviana sitting there.
Yep,
so why would you have Johnny and Michaela? Like, y'all been knew something was going on. It was just messy. I agree. It was messy.
I totally noticed that. I was like, Dr. V, nobody else could come. You couldn't even get Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't gonna say nothing. She never has a comment. You could have had Rachel just sit there.
Right.
I thought that was, I said, oh, that's very telling.
Mm. But yes.
Yeah.
That is all I have.
That's all I have, you guys. Thank you guys so much. It's been a lot of fun. Stay tuned. I'm going to be having another men's panel. I was talking to the guys, and they want to do a whole series. I was just going to do part 3, but they're like, no, we'll do 10, 11 episodes. So they're into it. So yeah, we're going to be coming back with men's panel, and Chris Nath is going to be joining me for the Challenge of Forgiveness. I've been talking about that for a while, so that is actually going to be scheduled. And Misha and I are going to be doing Ready to Love DC. So stay tuned for that, and Our Kind of People. So thank you guys so much. Go ahead, Misha. You have the last.
I will. Yes, we have Ready to Love this Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will also be doing a live, I believe, with Cinquette. She's a YouTube creator. She has an amazing channel, so I'll be joining one of her lives this Sunday. So I'll make sure to share it on my community tab. But we'll be discussing I believe choosing well as far as dating and relationships and all that. So tune in Sunday. It's gonna be an eventful day, and I think oh we have CMK After Dark tomorrow. We have our pillow talk discussion. So yeah, it's gonna be fun tomorrow night and Sunday night. So make sure you tune in. And yes, that is all I have.
Yes, Pillow Talk is going to be fun. And ladies and gentlemen, if someone would like to join us, we have somebody in mind that will be joining us at the end of the month. But if you would be interested, we have once a month, the last Friday of the month, we invite a guest on to join us for a topic. So please DM us, myself, Crystal.Lanetta on IG, and Misha Allen on IG, or send us an email. I have my email here. So yeah, if you'd like to join us for CMK After Dark, please definitely reach out to us, because CMK, myself, Misha, and Kia, we have it pretty lit in there. So that's it. Thank y'all. Have a good night, and
Have
remember, bring a wine or your favorite libation for next week.
a